This is JJ Arcega-Whiteside of the Philadelphia Eagles. Thank you for listening to Fantasy Fuel with another JJ, John, Eddie Jr., and Tom Tuttle.
Fantasy Fuel is powered by Pole Sports. Get instant fantasy football advice through real-time polls by visiting polesports.com.
I'm getting a little low on fuel.
What are you doing, Doc?
I need fuel.
Give me fuel, take a fly, ship me trace it out of sight.
Now, here are your hosts, John Eddie Jr. and Tom Tuttle.
Welcome back to Fantasy Fuel. This week, it's all about the mock drafts.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody loves a mock draft, and we will get into it in just a moment. But, of course, we have a little bit of
news from around the National Football League. Yay!
And we're going to start off with just a little bit of, how do I want to put this? Not encouraging news out of Oakland. Josh Jacobs remains unsigned, and negotiations have not been going well. There's a growing belief now that Jacobs won't be there for the start of camp.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's pretty much all you have to say. It's just not a good situation, but I'm assuming he still signs something at some point. I don't know why he wouldn't.
Apparently, the stall is over signing bonus distribution, which sounds like a really dumb reason to not get there and get in camp and get with your teammates and learn the offense.
Who is his
agent?
His agent.
I'm not sure. We should look into that because why are we caring about the signing bonus distribution? Yeah. You're getting it. So
yeah, you're going to get it. It doesn't matter how you it's crazy. Plus,
dumb.
you're going to get paid millions of dollars to begin with. So I don't know. That's just me, though.
Yep. An encouraging note for other running back fantasy football owners. Anybody that has Ezekiel Elliott can completely breathe. He's not going to be suspended unless he does something stupid before the season starts. I mean, there's always a possibility.
Oh, yeah.
But any of you Zeke owners, any of you dynasty guys that want to draft Zeke in the top 3 or 4 picks, he seems really safe now.
Yeah, go for it. It's not a problem. I didn't think it was going to be a problem to begin with, but yeah.
But now it's good. The Lions. We talked a little bit about tight ends the last couple of weeks in our sleepers. Darrell Bevel on the Lions says he's really excited about his Lions tight ends.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much to put into that.
You have one that you drafted that is going to be the guy, you would assume. And yeah, that's why you're excited. Why else was he?
Jesse James is there now, but he
was fine, but he was nothing special. And I believe that Hawkinson's going to be more special than Jesse James ever was. So,
but hey, if Jesse James is your tight end too,
that's not bad. It's not a bad two.
You're okay with that. So maybe that's why, because, I mean, Darrell Bevel was on the Seahawks for a while, and even when they had a tight end one in Jimmy Graham, it wasn't exactly the best tight end in the world anymore. So, well, we talked about him last week. 2 weeks ago, I should say. Okay. Sorry. Mr. Ryan Tannehill as the possible sleeper for the Tennessee Titans. Mm-hmm. Well, this week, Titans coach Mike Vrabel reiterates that Marcus Mariota is the starter and Tannehill is not. His job is backup. Everybody's job as a backup is to push the guy in front of him. You don't have to push very far if Marcus Mariota is sucking it up in preseason and off-season workouts and everything else. It's not going to be about Ryan Tannehill being better than Marcus Mariota. It's going to be Marcus Mariota throwing 4 interceptions in week 1 and making a fumble and just not looking good. And they're just going to be like, I give up with Marcus.
Yeah, it's basically what you said is perfect, but it's not Tannehill going to win the job. It's going to be Mariota losing the job. I mean, there's no other way you can really put it. Tannehill isn't bad enough to me to lose the job.
Right.
So he's always in contention for that starting spot. But he wouldn't be if it wasn't somebody like Mariota. If he was a backup to Aaron Rodgers, there's no question.
Of course.
But that would be a really good spot for Tannehill to be.
It actually would be, because
it really would.
It's either going to be, I have nothing to worry about. I'm going to sit on the sidelines. I'm going to let Aaron Rodgers do his thing. Oh, he's hurt. I'll go in now.
All right. No problem.
And I have Devontae Adams to throw to, so
True.
let's force it to Devontae Adams. That could be an interesting one. If Aaron Rodgers got hurt and the Packers had a competent backup quarterback, Devontae Adams would probably just feast.
You would think, because there wouldn't be anybody else that the backup could trust in, unless, of course, they're playing with them during practices and stuff. But, boy, that would be interesting, no doubt.
Now, before we get into our mock draft, here is an interesting tidbit about one Melvin Gordon. If anybody out there is super sold on Melvin Gordon as a first-round running back, maybe this will change your mind a smidge. Of the 6 running backs to score at least 10 rushing touchdowns last season, Melvin Gordon was the only one not to see at least 10 goal line carries.
Yeah.
Gordon had 5, which was tied for 38th in the league.
Yeah.
So that means his rushing touchdowns were coming from further back.
Right.
So if they're not going to give him any more goal line carries, his touchdown numbers are probably going to regress.
You would think. However, if he's getting the amount of touchdowns that he had from way back further than the goal line, that means he's talented enough to get in the end zone without it.
That's true. But do you remember Calvin Johnson? That year, he had all them yards. He had 3 touchdowns, and he was tackled inside the 5 7 times. It's just a matter of luck. And
sometimes
when you have to go further, chances are you're not going to get as far every time.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's interesting. I still think he's a first rounder. I don't know if I would go if I had the 12th pick. If you're in a 12-teamer and he's still available, it'd be almost impossible for me to say, "Well, I don't want him."
I'm not saying don't draft him. I'm saying if you're on the fence between Melvin Gordon and Le'Veon Bell. Okay. Not to say they don't have their issues.
That's a fine scenario right there.
But, yeah, that's all I'm saying. Now, speaking of from farther away and longer down the line, and there's so many things I could go with. Frank Gore, age 36.
Yeah.
Still has 0 plans to retire.
Of course.
He says, I just go how I feel. If I feel I can't do it no more, then I call it.
He's never going to stop.
Apparently, LaShawn McCoy begged the Bills to get Frank Gore in on this team.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's saying, hey, I want somebody who's old. You know, you don't want to say it like that, but I want somebody who's old that I can, have a connection with to a certain degree. Because sometimes you got these younger guys that you can't connect with because you are older. You're from that's not really a different generation too much,
almost,
but it's darn close to that. So, yeah, I kind of like that. I like the fact that he's willing to say, hey, I need somebody else in here that can fill the void somewhat if I'm going down.
Yep, take a little bit of his heat off. And
he knows his limitations at this point, and that's good about him.
And it probably makes him feel younger, and maybe he'll have a little bit extra burst this year. I don't know.
I'm sure he feels a little younger with somebody else in there that's a little older.
Like, OMG, it's, so totally the cringeworthy player of, the week.
It's cringeworthy, but it's only because I seem to find some stat from the other teams in the NFC East that I can bash just a little bit. But this is a good one. Mm-hmm. Eli Manning.
Oh, boy. Okay, you can stop. Cringeworthy. Done.
Has an opportunity to move into another top 10 all-time passing stat.
Mm.
If he throws his career average of 16 interceptions, he will move to 7th most interceptions thrown of all time.
All right.
The only statistical category Eli has led the league in.
Oh man, sorry, Eli, but
sorry,
wow.
Not sorry.
I mean, it's interesting to think that because he's been good. He's just also had some issues in recent history
Yes.
that he's not. Doesn't seem like he's going to correct. However, if he's throwing interception after interception, it's not going to be a long while before we see the backup coming in.
Unless Daniel Jones is just not that good.
Well, that remains to be seen, I suppose. But,
of course.
I would imagine that if Eli is not doing good, they're going to say, well, we might as well have a rookie not doing good than Eli.
Yeah, I can't argue too much with that. Only thing I have to say about that is I will be monitoring it closely.
Of course.
When it comes to IDP players and whoever is playing against the Giants. Because I'm thinking it almost doesn't matter which quarterback it is.
I don't think
Daniel
it does.
Jones is going to come in, and I don't think he's going to light the world on fire.
Right.
So even if it's Daniel Jones over Eli Manning, you might want to put in safeties and cornerbacks if you're playing IDP league.
Yep.
Whoever's playing against the Giants. I'm just saying there's going to be quite a number of interceptions thrown this year by whoever the Giants quarterback is.
So get yourself a lot of Redskins.
Well, you know what? I'm all set up, and I am going to be recording another ride this week for the first time in a while.
Right.
I found some extra time and got everything set up, so we're good to go. And we will be doing I will be doing a ride this week, and it's going to be Jonathan Allen. Just so a little preview there. If you have any thoughts.
No shuffling the deck on your side.
No, we're not shuffling. I pick my guy, and that's that. All right, well, it is time to get into a mock draft. So
all right.
We are going to find a 12-team league, and let me get my internet up in here. We both have to get in and see what we're doing. All right, and 12-team, we're, of course, going to do PPR.
Right.
So let's go with the one that says 328 as the last number. And we'll put that one there. Okay. And 328. And we are going to pick 4th.
Okay. Sounds good. That's interesting. We usually go right smack in the middle, 6 or 7, even 8 or 9 sometimes. But 4th is a good spot to pick this year, I feel.
It's going to be right at that back end. And we'll get one of those top running backs.
Yep.
And then we'll see what falls to us. We'll see. Maybe, just maybe, does Todd Gurley fall enough into the second round?
Very possible.
And
very, very possible.
That's what we're going to find out today.
That's that's the whole reason we're doing this, basically, because we've been hearing so many things about Todd Gurley and all that, it's interesting to think that Todd Gurley could go in the second round, not just the second round, but late in the second round. We're going to test that theory and find out.
For those of you watching on YouTube, the screen I have right now, there's 2 possible guys on this screen. I have Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara, a picture of both of those. So we'll see if that's one of the guys that will fall to us with our first pick. I'm thinking if I have to be okay with Zeke, I guess we'll have to be okay with Zeke.
I'm fine with Zeke at 4. That's absolutely no problem there.
All right. Well, it is underway, and we're waiting for the first person. We will see how long this actually takes. The first round should go a little quicker than this, but I haven't seen Saquon Barkley taken yet, but I'm assuming that's who it's going to be unless they time out for whatever reason.
I'm sure that they will. Yeah, who knows? Because they could go with any of the top 3. I can see any of them taken.
Nope.
See, they went with Zeke.
They went with...
That's exactly what I was saying. They could go on with Zeke. They could have went with McCaffrey. They could have went with Barkley.
Oh,
David Johnson, number 2.
Wow, we're going to have the pick of the litter when it gets to us at 4.
This is good news. This is good news.
Interesting.
We get Barkley or McCaffrey. What? What? We have the choice
of Barkley?
Between Barkley and McCaffrey.
Okay, well, Saquon Barkley or Christian McCaffrey. It's stupid. At 4. How does this even happen?
I've never seen this. Seen this.
I have never gotten Barkley this late, so we just take Barkley at 4 just because it sounds stupid.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I would want McCaffrey. I would pick. Here's the thing. Go ahead and pick Mark Barkley.
Okay.
I would pick McCaffrey with the first pick, but when it's the 4th pick, it's like I'd feel really dumb going without taking Barkley. Like it's just. To me, he has the consensus number 1. For
McCaffrey goes 6.
What the? We should have picked 6 like we were saying.
What
the heck?
Wow.
Wow. This has been an entertaining mock draft so far.
Yeah, we're not even a round in, and yeah, this is...
This has been unreal.
Wow. I don't get it.
No. This is... Okay. First of all, that's not going to happen in most drafts.
No.
So let's just make that clear. But what comes in the second round will probably be more accurate.
Maybe.
I don't know, because Le'Veon's in the second already. James Conner, that's fine. You can take him in the second.
Mixon was taken in the first. That's an interesting one. The rest of the guys in the first are
usually okay. I've been seeing Le'Veon in the first.
Okay, we've got one more pick, and
it's coming up.
It's very possible we could get Todd Gurley on the back.
Yes, and if we don't, that's okay. There's other guys here that we can pick from.
Yeah.
Todd Gurley. There it is.
Well, let's see how a draft plays out when we can get both Saquon Barkley and Todd Gurley. I don't understand. And the person who picked after us took Hopkins and Antonio Brown on the way back.
Sure.
Okay, there it is. The consensus number 1 guys for the last 2 years are on our team in the first and second round.
Yes, and besides Christian McCaffrey, were they not the next 2 top scoring? I mean, Todd Gurley would have been if he wasn't
for average.
Ridiculous.
He probably was number 1 or 2.
I agree with that. Yep.
And Aaron Jones goes after us, so Kamara and Jones on the same team.
Okay.
Anybody watching on YouTube, we have the last 2 rounds you can see as we're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something you can look at. We don't have to walk you through every single
That's
pick.
Unreal, and we're going to have a pretty good chance at something good coming back around, too. This is just... I
mean,
I understand why you are worried about Todd Gurley. I understand it.
Of course.
But there comes a certain point that you have to say, this is just too late for Todd Gurley to go.
With the
how
26th
late? If we would have taken somebody else, how late would he have gone? Think about that.
Could we have gotten him in the 3rd round?
I have not seen that yet. I've seen it late. I didn't think it was going to land on us, to be honest. I've seen it late, but I have not seen it in the 3rd round. I've seen it early in the second, middle second, and pretty late in the second. I honestly didn't think we'd get it.
Oh, well, my pick is gone. I was hoping Adam Thielen.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Hilton's still there. Leonard Fournette's still there. Zach Ertz still there.
That's not a bad option there.
Marlon Mack goes. Amari Cooper still there.
No, thank you.
Patrick Mahomes.
No,
it's on us. Derrick Henry went 3, so T.Y. Hilton, Leonard Fournette, Zach Ertz. Those are my 3 that I'm thinking about.
With everything we've been saying about tight ends, would it be really dumb for us to take a tight end because we've been preaching?
Let's punt tight end.
Okay,
we've been talking about punting tight end, so we got 15 seconds left.
I'm going to go with Hilton because we already have 2 running backs. However, Fournette
okay.
also
I'll take
injury
Hilton,
prone.
But yes, I mean, just even thinking about that, if we were taking Leonard Fournette, he was a late 1st round pick 2 years ago as well,
you're right.
And that's just insane. Leonard Fournette goes at the 6th pick in the 3rd round, and then Ertz and Kittle. So the top 3 are gone because Travis Kelce went 15th overall.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's not a tight end premium setup; it's just a PPR. But okay, and that team is now on the clock. They took Michael Thomas first, then Travis Kelce, so they have no running backs, and in my opinion, there isn't a lot of running backs right now that are worth it, and they took Stephon Diggs.
Ooh, I guess they're kind of punting that. Well, they've got another opportunity here because everybody just picked really quick.
And the only running back in between there was Josh Jacobs, which, and they did. Kerryon Johnson.
Kerryon Johnson. That's your best running back right there.
All right.
That's
almost
not a good
on
scenario.
us again. We're looking at Phillip Lindsay, Mark Ingram, Robert Woods, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin, Cooper Kupp, James White, Jarvis Landry. I think we can get Landry on the way around.
There's no doubt about that.
And we don't really need to take a quarterback because there's so many of those. As much as I like Andrew Luck and called him a possible MVP this year, there's Sony Michel. Wow, there's too many options in this round. We got 15 seconds left.
I'm going with a wide receiver. I'm going to make you pick.
You're going to make me pick? All right. Well, I am going on a... Yeah, screw it. We'll just take Landry.
We could have completely got him in the next round.
We probably could have, but I just didn't like any.
I agree. That's why I made you pick.
I know. You didn't want to be the one.
I didn't want Woods. It just didn't feel right. Calvin Ridley didn't feel right.
No, and I'm not high on Chris Godwin, although in the 5th round I might be okay with Godwin.
That's true.
But there's so many other guys too. James White. There's Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers in the 5th round.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
I mean, I've never really I normally don't take
just think about
quarterbacks this high.
Andrew
Luck's still sitting there.
Saquon Barkley, Todd Gurley, and then possibly Andrew Luck or Aaron Rodgers on the same team. Yep. That never happens.
Pretty messed up. And if we get Andrew Luck, we're having a combo with him and Hilton.
Oh.
So that's something to think about.
Top 10 fantasy hookups.
There it is. That's the hookup. That's the hookup.
Well, I say if Andrew Luck is still there, we take Andrew Luck.
I agree with that because I'm looking at the list. As much as I like some of these guys, it's almost unnecessary to have them at this point.
Right.
Also looking at tight ends, there's still a lot. Still a lot of tight ends that we don't even need to worry about it right now. So we will be fine there. Let's definitely go with Luck if he's still available. If he is not available, what are you thinking?
If he's not available,
would you want to go Aaron Rodgers? Because I think we could get Aaron Rodgers coming back around even. The possibility is there.
I think as soon as the second quarterback goes.
I think once Luck goes, it'll probably be done with Aaron Rodgers. So I agree with that.
Why not? We don't normally take quarterbacks this high, but this is a this is so far out of what our normal drafts would look like at this
because
position.
We wouldn't normally get Saquon Barkley and Todd Gurley on the same team.
And Andrew Luck is gone.
Okay, and I guess we got to go with Aaron Rodgers because it is on us.
Why not? The other possible MVP candidate in this.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long while before we pick again, but you know what? This is all about experimenting and seeing what could happen. Why not? Aaron Rodgers, A.A. Ron, is now a member of Fantasy Fuel.
All right. So with our next pick, I'm thinking probably should be wide receiver because it's a little thin there, but we also have to remember this is the risk you take with Todd Gurley.
Yes.
I do feel like we need to take another running back that we can trust in, and that would be James White, but he's not going to stay until
there's
next round.
James White, Tariq Cohen.
Cohen's there.
Geis.
Geis isn't a bad one because I believe he makes the field and is productive. I don't know how many people are actually going to think about him coming back and replacing Adrian Peterson this year, but I do believe that's what's going to happen.
When I was doing a little research for the next Ride episode in Jonathan Allen, I was on a Redskins page, and there was a lot of projected usage stats, and they had Adrian Peterson at like 21% of the snaps, or maybe even less, and Geis at like 36%, something like that. So even some of the beat writers for the Redskins aren't thinking Adrian Peterson's going to get a lot of usage. It's on us. And guess who has fallen all the way around? We did not see James White, but we do see Tariq Cohen.
Tariq Cohen is there. I am perfectly fine with Cohen right here. This is almost a value pick to me.
6th round.
Sixth round for Tariq Cohen.
I usually see him go around the 5th, early to middle 5th, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm very, very happy with that. Our wide receivers are a little thin.
That's okay. We had to get something to solidify the Todd Gurley possibility of being nothing. I mean, that is a possibility. That's why he's falling so far. Right. It's a little crazy that he's fallen that far, but it is what it is, and we'll take it.
That's true. All right. Well, moving around is going to be probably a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I know I have my
Pettis.
eye
I like Pettis a little bit here. I do like Robbie Anderson, but that's just a little bit of
somebody
homery.
took Darrell Henderson on us, so we're
that's
not
okay.
going to get Todd Gurley's handcuff.
That's okay. We have Tariq Cohen, so I'm fine with that.
We have a lot of receptions in these 3 running backs. They all play. Holy cow! Saquon has 90 catches. Gurley has like 60 plus catches. Tariq Cohen catches like 70 balls. This in a PPR league. Oh, Latavius Murray.
Wow.
What is going on? Oh, well, he did take Alvin Kamara number 1, but really?
Yeah, that's interesting. That's weird.
We've got Geist still sitting there. Do we want to take another running back?
I don't know, because there's no way Pettis is going to stay. I don't think some of these wide receivers are going to be around,
That's
back
fine.
to us. But
I am more than fine with Dante Pettis right here.
Yeah, I want Pettis. Let's do it.
All right. Dante Pettis, a possible sleeper.
Kind
of.
It's
Value pick.
It's
We'll say
value
pick.
That's a good one.
And there, of course, Geist right after. Alshon, Breeze, Rashad Penny, Lamar Miller, who just keeps chugging along in the 7th round.
In the 7th round, a number 1 running back on a team in the 7th round.
It's insane.
It's insane, but it's kind of not at the same time, because he is one of the forgotten people.
Kyler Murray.
Wow.
I'm
telling you guys, this is a mistake. He doesn't belong to go right after Drew Brees.
No.
That is a mistake.
Carson Wentz is still there.
Yep.
Are you drafting Kyler Murray over Carson Wentz?
Never.
No, we did our quarterback projections on fantasyfuelpodcast.com.
And guess who's not on the list?
Russell Wilson. Still there.
Wow. No, he just got taken.
I know, but he just went in the 8th round.
Would you take Kyler Murray or Russell Wilson? Come on, guys. Come on.
Every other quarterback at this point, I understand. Matt Ryan has had MVP seasons recently. Baker Mayfield, people are high on. Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson. I get all those. And it's on us. We're not taking a quarterback.
Nope. We've got the option of Will Fuller, Njoku.
There's not much here.
Not.
This is let's throw something out there and see what sticks kind of a pick, and it can be anything. There's Will Fuller. There's Geronimo Allison.
I'm feeling Fuller, because if he is healthy, which is a stretch, I know that's a stretch, but if he's healthy, he could really be kind of big.
Huge.
He is definitely probably the biggest upside that was left on that list.
Yes. I did like the Geronimo Allison spot, since we did have a Ron.
I get it.
But
there's going to be other
guys.
Yes. There's going to be other guys on the Packers that we could do that with if we want to. Right. And Allison's still there. It's not like we can't possibly get him if we wanted to.
There's so many other wide receivers left.
Yeah, there is.
Need to shore up something else, although there's not a lot else out there. What is left at tight end? There's Hooper, Hawkinson, Trey Burton, Herndon, Fant, Doyle, Rudolph, Goddard. It is on us.
These are all guys I'd be fine with.
Yeah, so
I don't really
wait one more round at
longer.
least.
Yep.
What do we got at running back? Royce Freeman,
McCoy, Foreman, Eckler,
Samuel Hyde. Oh my goodness.
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Which is interesting that he's this late. I
There's
didn't
Chris
think he was
Thompson
going this
sitting
late.
there too, but he can probably be gotten for a while. We've only got 15 seconds left. I can't. You know what? Larry Fitzgerald's still there.
Why not? Murray's got to throw to somebody, right?
Why not? Larry Fitzgerald. Then we don't even have to think about wide receivers for pretty much the rest of this draft.
Yeah, we got Hilton, Landry, Pettis, Fuller, and Fitzgerald. That's solid.
And of course, there is kickers and defenses in this particular draft. So
kickers,
they're going to be
defenses,
taken, but we're not going to be taking them. This would, if it were a real draft, we would be taking flyers at the end and then swapping them out before week 1 and streaming kickers and defenses. Wow, McCole Hardman just went.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
It is
too.
on us again. What do we got left?
Well,
still the same amount of ends.
There's quarterbacks that are available. This is probably the end of the.
We don't need a quarterback.
We don't need one. But
Let's see.
I forgot. Yeah, we have Rodgers. Duh.
I see Chris Thompson.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
It's probably a little higher than everybody else has him valued right now, but this is a PPR.
You know what? Oh, we don't need another wide receiver. Never mind.
But here are our running backs in a PPR league. Saquon Barkley.
Bing.
Todd Gurley.
Bing.
Tariq Cohen.
Bing.
And Chris Thompson.
Bing.
That's a lot of receptions.
That's PPR right there, all over the place.
All over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do we got left? I mean, I feel like we have such a good team. The only thing that we're missing is tight end.
But
they're all there.
They're still.
We don't even need to punt tight end. We're still getting one of our top 10 tight ends.
Hooper, who I think is going to be fine. Hawkinson's still there. Delaney Walker, you never know.
There you go. It's on us. I mean, why not Austin Hooper right now?
I don't see any reason why you wouldn't.
We didn't even really punt tight end.
We didn't.
We got a guy that we're both confident in to be a top 10 player by the end of the year. That's insane. We'll probably still take one more tight end just because.
Oh, probably.
Because I know there's one guy that's probably going to last till one of the very late.
Oh
rounds,
yeah, he might not even get drafted. There's so many of them. To be honest, I could keep going down this list of tight ends and thinking, yeah.
Yep. And we're probably not going to take a backup quarterback because there's no point.
No, not in a mock draft. There's really no point in doing that.
Hawkinson's still there. Devin Singletary as a flyer. Josh Allen. We could have waited all this time, still had Josh Allen. Yeah. Justice Hill still sitting there. Wow, this is...
As far as wide receivers go, there's guys that are there. I mean, there's...
No, it's on us.
Yeah. What was the plan? I mean, there's just so many options.
There's no plan. There's so many options in this 12. We should have done like a 14 team, and we'd still be happy. I mean, we could take T.J. Hawkinson and just be like,
we could do that.
Okay, whatever.
I don't have a problem.
There's also Noah Fant, but
I don't have a problem with Hawkinson. It doesn't matter to me because I've already liked the way our draft has gone, and I'm not trying to sound like we're cocky or anything, but this draft is unbelievable to me that we've done what we've done.
I do believe we probably should look at one more running back.
Yeah, I agree with that.
On the way back.
You can't fully trust that Thompson is going to give us what we want him to give us. So, if we have another choice, there is... there's not a ton left there.
There's not.
Wait a second. There is a guy who is still technically a starter on a team who has already had the backup was taken already, which he's kind of a backup, but he's kind of not. I'll let you announce it.
You're talking about one way down there?
Way down that list.
Talking about the guy that we already have somebody on that team?
We do.
Why not?
Why wouldn't you do it?
Why not? If that person does not.
If he doesn't go before we...
Oh, he's not. It's on us.
Oh, it's
so
on
we
us.
get it. So we're just going to shore up half, we'll say half, at least half of the Chicago backfield.
Right.
And we're going to take Mike Davis in the 13th round.
Still technically on the. I'll look up the depth chart right now on my phone just to make sure. Just to make sure that he is still technically the starter, or if not the starter, he is a starter. Bears depth chart. Let's do this.
Oh boy, all the kickers are going. I think we only got a couple of rounds left.
We don't care about kickers.
No, we certainly don't. What all do we have? Oh my goodness, there's just why is it?
Okay.
I feel like taking more tight ends. It's on us.
Okay, it's on us. Let's make a pick, and then I'll tell you where Mike Davis is.
What do we want? What do we want? I say
this is flyer time, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's flyer time. Let's man.
Well, there's guys like Gallup that are still available, which I'm not super high on Gallup, but man, he's sitting there. Marquise Brown, I know that's Baltimore, so that's kind of a stretch. Devontae Parker.
Let's go with Fant.
Might as well. Hey, you know what? We're doing our strategy that we've been telling people, but yet we're getting guys that are not even the guys that we were talking about.
Right.
We're getting guys that we were confident in, as in we were talking about Doyle before, guys that we are second tight ends on their respective teams, and now we're getting guys that are not the second tight end.
Right.
So it's interesting. Yeah, we have 3 tight ends, and that's probably frowned upon by most people, but it's interesting.
It's weird.
One of these guys is going to have a big year.
Yeah,
I almost guarantee that. I'm not guaranteeing it, but I do want. I want to say something about Mike Davis. So, what I thought was true. They do have 2 guys as their number 1 running backs. They have a 1A and a 1B. I don't know how you would categorize 1A, 1B if Montgomery is the 1A and the 1B is Mike Davis, but they have 2 guys as their number 1. Mike Davis is still technically a starting running back in this league.
All right, back to us.
Okay, this is the last round?
Yeah, might be one more after this. I can't remember. I say we take another wide receiver. It's been a while.
Man, there's so many. I'm seeing all these guys. Okay, there's Randall Cobb, Demarius Thomas, Sanu isn't even that bad of a guy. Goodwin's not that terrible. Deebo Samuel.
I say Marquise Brown just to spice it up.
Okay. We'll see if he can get a quarterback to throw to him. I'm fine with that.
This is the guy that we will drop for a kicker defense.
Agreed.
If he doesn't look amazing in the preseason.
Agreed.
So there's 0. Okay, I think. Was that it? Yeah.
That's
it.
It
must have been 15 rounds. I couldn't remember if
it's
15 or 16.
Yeah.
So there we go.
We did not get a kicker or a defense, which is fine. If we had to, we would have. But
if we have to drop Mike Davis because he falls off the map and he's just not the starter anymore, then hey, whatever.
Well, that would be fine. But let's say he doesn't fall off the map and he is the starter still. We have 3 tight ends.
We trade one of our tight ends and Will Fuller for an upgrade at wide receiver.
It would absolutely work. Let's see the teams that don't have a tight end that you can trust. The first guy, okay, that's all right. Wow, this guy, okay, he has Kelsey. Dang it! I thought I thought we had something. See, that's the thing.
A guy that has Hunter Henry only has Hunter Henry.
There you go.
So bam, just right there, and he's got Julio, Juju, Sterling Shepard, Cortland. His wide receivers aren't even that great. But to give him somebody like Will Fuller, if he's going to, we'd probably give him 3. We'd give him Noah Fant, Will Fuller, and Dante Pettis for Juju Smith-Schuster.
He would have to be
desperate for a tight end, and his other wide receivers aren't panning out. Maybe something of that nature. I would doubt it. We'd probably have to give him Landry or Hilton to upgrade that far, but
okay, hold on
I'd probably
now.
Still be willing to do that.
I'm looking at this guy right here. He has Vance McDonald as his only tight end. I do not agree.
Goodness.
I do not agree with that. I understand why some people are higher on Vance McDonald this year. I don't like it. That's the one guy that I just cannot draft. I'd rather draft pretty much any of the other tight ends this year. Vance McDonald, not
and he drafted him
on
in
my
the
radar.
6th round.
Sixth round.
have zero faith
Agreed.
in tight ends in Pittsburgh.
That's
They've had good games.
Yes. Yep.
But over a season, Pittsburgh tight ends are not fantasy relevant usually.
Another guy that I would like to talk about, he's not on our team, but we didn't need a wide receiver. So on the 11th round with, I don't know, the guy in the 12th position, he has Emmanuel Sanders. That to me is value because Emmanuel Sanders is recovering from an injury, and he is still basically a number one guy on that team. And if he is healthy by the beginning of the season, he's going to have number one type numbers. Problem is if he's healthy. Everything that I've been reading and I've been hearing is that he will be fine by week 1. He's just not 100% right now.
Now, the rest of this guy's wide receivers are very interesting. He took Odell Beckham in the first round. Okay,
fine.
Whatever.
Yep.
A.J. Green, if
fine.
he stays healthy, he's fine.
Yep.
Allen Robinson,
yeah.
in the 7th, I don't mind him taking
It's fine.
him.
It's fine, but that's with the other two guys that you have. Odell Beckham, yes, that's going to be good. A.J. Green, that's going to be decent. And then you got Allen Robinson is not really the guy I want to put. What's the word? It's not support. I want somebody who I can have to support my other wide receivers, and I don't feel like he supports them.
And it's not his next wide receiver either.
No, he's not supporting anybody. I don't like Corey Davis much this year.
Emmanuel Sanders was a perfect spot to pick him.
He needed it
with what he took because you're taking Allen Robinson, hoping he can get back to what 3 or 4 years ago now, where he was amazing. So you can't trust Allen Robinson.
No,
but
I actually think Emmanuel Sanders could have a better year than Allen Robinson. So to me, I think that he's almost a guy that we could have talked about being a sleeper this year. Yeah, just because he's going in the 11th round.
11th round. I mean, we were discussing last year, who do you take, Demaryius Thomas or Emmanuel Sanders? And we all told you Emmanuel Sanders. 3 full rounds later after Demaryius Thomas was going. Yep. And Demaryius Thomas...
is he even on this list? Did he get taken?
No, he did not. He is still on the waiver wire.
There you go.
There's not a lot of wide receivers left on waivers that I would...
There is Randall Cobb. Yeah. I like a flyer there. I'd be fine with a Randall Cobb flyer. I'd be okay with Demaryius Thomas as a flyer for my last pick if I felt like he was going to be the guy.
You know who somebody we should have taken maybe instead of Marquise Brown?
Okay.
Duke Johnson.
Duke Johnson. I agree with that.
He is way far down that list.
See, that's the thing. Some of these lists, you look at it and you don't see the guys that you're thinking of.
No.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, look at that. There's Duke Johnson.
And there's a couple quarterbacks left that if we really wanted to, if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt again, there's Derek Carr, Matt Stafford, Sam Darnold, Nick Foles, Joe Flacco.
I mean,
sleeper Andy Dalton.
Nothing spectacular. If I had to go with somebody, boy, you know what? I usually don't even look at Derek Carr. Like, I'm just like, but he's got weapons. He's got to do something this year, right?
And we were saying before, they're probably going to be playing from behind. So
agreed.
Even if he's throwing interceptions, that just means, guess what? He's going to have to go on the field and throw it some more. So he might be a great fantasy quarterback this year.
That's very possible.
Even if the team stinks, which, sorry, I think that the Raiders are probably going to stink.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know how. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I am letting Gruden be Gruden and prove to me that he is the coach and the mastermind that I thought he was crazy last year. I thought he was a nut job. But then he got all these picks. We'll see what he does with these picks, these guys that are coming in and being successful, hopefully for him. But like we said at the top of the broadcast, his running back is having some issues signing a contract.
So here we go again. If Josh Jacobs decides to hold out and not sign his contract, who else is left there? I believe they re-signed Doug Martin. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
Chris Warren is a guy that before the Raiders drafted Josh Jacobs, I told a couple of my friends that are into fantasy, Chris Warren is a guy like deep leagues in the flag league. I was telling Gary, he's got Chris Warren on his taxi squad still. I was like, there's a guy right there you might be able to bring up if they don't do anything. Well, they drafted Josh Jacobs, of course, but now he's being a headache.
He's going to sign. I don't have a problem saying that that's going to happen because it will happen. He's just being stubborn at this point. And I guess his agent's probably saying, why not be stubborn? You don't need to be out there right now, but you probably should get your rookie.
Yes.
You need to learn these plays. You need to do it with the team as quickly as possible.
And just for everyone's knowledge, we don't normally take very many rookies when we do redraft type mock drafts.
Yep.
And we took 3 rookies in this draft, but they were all after the 12th round. TJ Hawkinson, Noah Fant, and Marquise Brown. There is absolutely zero reason not to take chances on guys like this late in a draft.
I mean, they're rookies, but you're thinking these are starting rookies. If you're taking a wide receiver early, and let's say it's what was the earliest rookie wide receiver that was taken? I'm gonna bet if I can find it. I wish they had these highlighted as rookies because it'd be a lot easier.
N'Keal Harry went in the 8th round.
Okay.
Oh, and
Metcalf
DK Metcalf
did as well.
Did. Yep.
So them two in the 8th round, as opposed to Hawkinson, who's a guaranteed starter, Noah Fant, who is a guaranteed starter, and even Marquise Brown, a guarantee starter.
Yeah.
For all of these teams, you have to think guarantee starts and looks. I mean, you can't. Stafford's going to be all over Hawkinson, right?
You would think.
Who else are you going to throw to besides Galladay? And I mean,
if Marvin Jones is healthy,
right. Yeah, agreed with that.
And Damian
Amendola is still.
I hurt myself again. Dola.
He's still valuable when he's on the field.
Yes,
and he's still valuable in a lot of like punt and kick returns as well because he does do that pretty decently. But I don't know what, maybe the Lions don't do that with him. Maybe that's part of the reason he's getting hurt so much, and they say, well, maybe you should just be our wide receiver and not a returner.
Darrell Bevel loves his tight end, so maybe they're going to be in more two tight end sets, and Danny Amendola doesn't have to be on the field for more than 25 snaps a game, less chance of him getting hurt, and that's Danny Amendola's MO, and if he doesn't have to be on the field as often, he'll have a chance to play more of a season.
So let's run down our team again.
Okay.
Let's start off with our first pick with the fourth
pick.
The fourth pick. Saquon Barkley.
Wow, I'm still just in shock over that one.
That is very shocking. But it's almost more shocking to say who our first 2 picks are. If we were doing this last year, people would be like, how the heck did you do that?
First 2 picks. Saquon Barkley, who anybody would take at any spot in the first round.
Right.
And then the guy who everybody took number 1 overall last year, Todd Gurley. Yes, we know he has issues.
Yes, we do.
But we're not that scared of him.
Not yet.
Not yet. I mean, yes, I told everybody to go out there and trade him before the just insane cyclone of news that was his arthritic knee.
Yes.
And after that, I said, well, let's hold up a little bit, and Todd Gurley might be worth buying if he doesn't cost you too much.
And here's the thing. In the 2nd round, and you already have Saquon Barkley, Todd Gurley is a perfect spot right there. That is just unbelievable how perfect that is because you could have the best 2 running backs in the league.
Easily could be the best 2. Obviously, we both love Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, yeah. And I think he has a chance.
We both like Kamara, and Zeke is still going to get a ton of touches one way or the other. But that's why I don't like Zeke as much this year is he has gotten a big workload. And one of these days, it's going to make him slow down.
That's very possible. I would assume that at some point he does slow down. But I right now, it's kind of hard to say that that's going to happen. I'd have to see it to believe it. One thing I will say before we run down the rest of our team is I've never seen Christian McCaffrey fall as far as he has in any mock draft that I've ever done. He is the 6th pick this year. I have seen him number 1, number 2, number 3. I don't even know if
rarely. I've seen him at 4 before.
Okay, maybe you've seen him. I don't think I've seen him at 4. I have never seen Barkley at 4. I have never had the opportunity with the 4th pick to pick what I think are the 2 best running backs in the league with Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley.
I did a mock draft last week, during this last week to prepare for the show, and I went with 5. And Christian McCaffrey was still there at 4, and I was like, one more
perfect.
No, he didn't last 5, but
yeah, fifth spot is one of them spots. It's like, okay, now you have to pick between Melvin Gordon, David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell,
or you go with
a wide receiver,
top tier wide receiver.
Right, you get Hopkins, Adams, somebody like that. If you're really high on Thomas, you might go there, or Julio if you're really super high on him. Them other guys that you're probably looking at with the 5th pick, and Christian McCaffrey went with the 6th. That's crazy.
If we would have waited until the 7th round to take a quarterback, we could have had either Carson Wentz or Russell Wilson at that point.
Which would have been perfectly fine. I mean,
and then we would have had another player like Tyler Lockett or Cooper Kupp, or
I think
we could have taken Darrell Henderson in the 5th round as a handcuff, but I don't like Darrell Henderson in the 5th round.
No.
If I'm taking a handcuff, it's, Mike Davis to Tariq Cohen. It's almost a handcuff. Or they're almost both starters.
Yeah. The reason we took Aaron Rodgers in the 5th round, which is usually not what we do. We don't usually take high-end quarterbacks that early. But the reason we did that is because we just didn't really feel the need for a running back or even a wide receiver, because the wide receivers that were available aren't wide receivers we're super high on. And so later on, we went on and took Dante Pettis, who
3 rounds in a row. Pettis, Fuller, and Larry Fitzgerald in the 9th round. Fitzgerald has been dropping and dropping and dropping.
It's almost crazy to say it, but he, in a way, is kind of a sleeper because he's still the best wide receiver on the team.
Just because they drafted like 17 rookie wide receivers doesn't mean they're all going to make the team.
Right.
Doesn't mean they're all going to get on the field, and they're all learning from Larry Fitzgerald
in this draft. Now, tell me if this sounds crazy. Please let me know. In this draft, in the 8th round, was a quarterback of Kyler Murray. In the 9th round was Larry Fitzgerald. It seems kind of crazy to me.
And another thing that sounds crazy to me is Cam Newton went in the 9th round after Kyler Murray too.
Yeah, that's completely insane. But who else went after Kyler Murray? Let's name it. Carson Wentz after. Russell Wilson after Kyler Murray. Jared Goff, who had a really big year last year, went after Kyler Murray. Cam Newton,
Phillip Rivers,
Jameis Winston, Roethlisberger. Tom Brady is falling to the 11th round.
To the guy who took Deshaun Watson in the 5th.
That is ridiculous. That's insane. And then there's Garoppolo, who has a chance to me to be somewhat of a sleeper. I said that last episode. Then Prescott, I don't like that at all. Josh Allen, there's a possibility there.
Crush.
Lamar Jackson would be my man crush.
Yes.
And then Trubisky, who we really haven't talked a lot about this year. I think he has a chance to be decent. Nothing spectacular. He's a chance to be in the top 12.
He is one of those guys that is perfect for your second quarterback in a super flex league.
Yes, Superflex, that's a perfect spot. I agree with that wholeheartedly. There's just so many quarterbacks this year that you can take a chance on and actually feel somewhat confident with that chance. I've taken a chance with Lamar Jackson. I feel really confident he's going to get me points. I don't know if he can throw the ball to wide receivers well, but I know he can run the ball.
Yes.
And I know that the team is trying to get away from him running the ball, so that means he's going to attempt more throwing, and if that doesn't work, they're going to say, win us games. And he's going to win games by running the ball, which will get you fantasy points.
I actually talked with one of our longtime fans, Reggie, the other day on Facebook. He's doing some keeper leagues for the ones that he's hosting, and he put this out there. He's like, who do you think is better to keep?
Okay.
Lamar Jackson in, I believe it was the 12th or 13th round, or Stephon Diggs in the 3rd. And obviously, if you aren't caring about quarterbacks,
right,
Stephon Diggs in the 3rd is his normal MO.
Right,
he actually went late in the 3rd. So it's whatever. It's not a bad pick.
Right.
It's not a great pick.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson could be the next fantasy football version of Michael Vick.
It's possible.
And if you have that feeling, why not take that chance in the 12th round? I've been having this
feeling for quite a while.
Yes, you have.
And I do believe it's going to happen. At least it's going to show itself this year. It showed itself last year, to be honest.
It did a little bit,
because he didn't start the year. So people are thinking, well, his fantasy points weren't all that great. But if you sort it by average, which I've done plenty of times on a lot of different guys, it is in the top 12, I believe, if I'm remembering, or I don't have it in front of me.
That sounds right.
But I'm pretty sure it's top 12. He is a starter if you just take the ones that he actually played in.
And he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah. Well, that's the crack in my plan when it comes to Lamar Jackson, because that type of quarterback does have a chance to get hurt, and get hurt often, or get hurt and be done.
Yeah. I mean, that backup on that team is a guy that did just that. RG3, who I don't know if it was through any fault of his own or if it was just that really bad Redskins management that we have referenced before. They buried his career.
Yes, and I think he could still have been successful fantasy-wise. I don't know if he could be successful as far as winning playoff games. But yeah, the type of quarterback he is similar to a certain extent to what Lamar Jackson is. And I want to be clear, I have Lamar Jackson on the Flag League, which I ended up trading, and I just couldn't help myself. Had to get him. But I also want to be clear that I'm not just taking Lamar Jackson and hoping Lamar Jackson is going to be a star and not get hurt. I'm hoping he is a star. I hope he doesn't get hurt. But I also did trade at the same time, for his backup in RG3.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a possibility they both get hurt, but if that were to happen, I do have a backup plan in Sam Darnold. Not the greatest of fantasy, you would think, but you never know, and it's a homer pick for sure. I definitely like Sam Darnold.
Of course.
We'll see.
Your two favorite-ish quarterbacks right now?
Yeah, no. I mean, if I was talk in fantasy football terms, no.
Okay.
Fantasy football terms, my favorite-ish quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson would be up there just because I like the type of quarterback he is. It would have to be Mahomes and Luck. I mean, it's impossible to not favor them because they're just that good. If I were to pick my quarterbacks as far as favorite, not fantasy football, we're talking probably Drew Brees and man, there's some other guys there too. But Drew Brees is definitely probably my favorite quarterback right now in the league. Sam Darnold is up there just because I'm a Jets fan, so that's just kind of how that lays out.
All right. Any last thoughts on this mock draft?
Boy, this mock draft was, to me, the best mock draft we've done together. I don't know how you can say it's not, because we have Barkley, Gurley, Hilton, Landry, Aaron Rodgers, Tariq Cohen, Pettis, Will Fuller, Fitzgerald, Thompson, Hooper, Austin Hooper, Hawkinson, Mike Davis, Noah Fant, and Marquise Brown. That is our team. If I'm rating this, and I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible, I'm giving it a B+.
I think it's a little better than a B+, but
I'm trying to be
yes, I know.
Yeah.
I know. But that is about going to wrap it up, and you can find all of the mock drafts that we will do. We did one earlier.
Yep.
We've got this one now that will be on fantasyfuelpodcast.com. You can find us on facebook.com/fantasyfuel. You can find us on Twitter at Fantasy Fuel. You can give us a call. We will play you on the air if you'd like to ask us a question or make a comment about one of our mock drafts or our rankings. If you'd like to tell us we're out of our minds, that's fine. You can do that. And you can do that. Call us at 608-492-3443.
Yep.
You can listen to us anywhere. Spotify, Apple, Google, Podchaser, iHeartRadio. I guess we're pretty popular on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, that's the place, man. A lot of people go there for us.
Yes, they do. So, yeah.
Don't forget, we're on YouTube as well. I'm sure you already mentioned that. But that is somewhere you can go to check us out. You can take a look at what we look like. And maybe I might scare you. Maybe you go back to just listening because
maybe.
But, yeah, you can do that as well. And just check us out because we're everywhere.
We're everywhere. Yep. If you're into audio dramas, check out The Veiled Monarch. I play a character on there. My voice acting skills, whatever you want to call that. And The Average Joe Show on Friday nights at sayitproductions.com/YouTube for all your weird, wacky news. And don't forget, August 18th, the Fantasy Football Expo. We'll be there. Come check us out. And don't forget, stay fueled up this off season.